Backstage has been a pretty clear differentiator for us versus some other vendors in the space. I think something that gets overlooked because it's not something that's visible to end users is the importance of having a CMS that's easy to use and that can also do everything that you want it to do. So one of the most powerful things that Backstage does is the ability to have new content automatically populate into certain orders, into certain rows, certain places in the app. You just feed in the content, and as long as your metadata is tagged in a nice way, Backstage can read that metadata and put all the content where you would want the content to go. And it can intelligently make those decisions so that you don't have to have a person sitting at a computer all day refining the UI. You've already set a set of rules for the UI that Backstage is intelligent enough to follow and then surface a great user experience to your end users. Further to that, we have design elements that can be populated and changed by our 24IQ product, and that adds a whole other level of personalization to it. So already with Backstage, you have a pretty powerful engine for editing the look and feel and content editorially, but with 24IQ, in addition to that, you have the ability to add a more personal touch to it. So show different content to different users, maybe even at different times of the day. You can get very granular in what you can show to users based on Backstage alone. And then additionally with 24IQ, it adds a whole great new layer of functionality. In the past, it's been the idea of recommendations. That's something maybe we'll get once we grow to a larger scale. Now it's something that more customers of ours have been talking about, even at an earlier stage in their growth. They've started talking about recommendations as a way to get to that higher tier, as opposed to just waiting for that higher tier to occur and then jumping on the recommendations bandwagon at that point. The nice thing about 24IQ is that as a product, it allows 24i's customers to do their own high quality recommendations, surface the same kinds of recommendations to their end users that, let's say, one of the bigger players in the space would be surfacing. So you don't have to be a Netflix or a Disney Plus or any of those services to surface great recommendations to your end users. 24IQ offers a very intuitive dashboard to where you can configure and personalize recommendations even further from what you would get just out of the box with a normal recommendations engine. Yeah, I would say the entry point for recommendations is not as high as it once was, and it's now both viable and advisable for all sizes of media company to look into how they can better serve their customers with recommendations. There's a couple things that 24i does to make white label apps viable in the market, and the whole idea of having a premium white label app, that's the whole thing. That's what you would want to shoot for. One is configurability. So you can make an app using 24i's AppStage and Backstage products and have it look absolutely nothing like something that's using the same set of products just by configurability. I mean, we have 600 different parameters in our system that you can change the look and feel of the app on. There's all sorts of different types of rows that you can have. Also, a thing that we kind of pride ourselves on is our ability to adapt even from the template. So you're not necessarily stuck in the template. We do find that most of our customers are pretty okay with everything that the template provides out of the box, but we do also offer some services that will allow customers to enhance that experience beyond what the template offers. The way that we've seen the market go is that it relies a lot on design best practices. It relies on being intuitive to as many customers as possible at the end user. level. So being as intuitive as possible to the most end users. And the way to do that is to have a familiar look and feel. And it's difficult to have a familiar look and feel if all of a sudden you're adding all these design elements that are foreign to your end users. You want to have a great looking app, and you want it to be familiar to your end users. What you want to focus on is, if you want different, unique, quirky, you want that in your content. And you want to we're creating the best possible, let's say, framing for that content. We want our customers to be able to present their content in the clearest possible way. And oftentimes, in the past, there have been design trends focused on making that frame, crazy, different, a strange environment. But the trend now is just putting the content first, and providing the best frame for it.
Find out more at 24i.com.